Hey everyone, welcome back to the Gravediggers. We're a little bit further on than when I thought I might see you next, but there's a perfectly good reason for that. And today is actually going to be the last episode of our first season here at Partizan Belgrade. Let's get cracking. Yes, everyone, that's right. Welcome back to the Gravediggers, where we're playing here with FK Partizan. And yeah, you will notice that we are in April. And we are playing in the final phase of the season. So that basically means we've just had the league split. So we are into basically like the sort of mini league where the top two teams will get Champions League football. First place is looking like it's going to be Red Star. I'll be honest with you, I don't think that us or anyone are going to catch them. There's just too much distance between us and them and some of the other teams. But second place, we'll get to the Champions League knockout playoff pathways, stage 2, I think, like round 2. So we will be looking to bring that gap down, that 5-point gap between us and Chukarichi Stankom, to hopefully steal that second place, all the while not dropping out of the top 5, where we will be guaranteed some form of European football next season. But I'll be honest with you, yeah, the reason why we're in April, a couple of reasons really. So obviously I last saw you after the Slovan game where we lost 4-2, and it was at that point where we were like, nah, we are done with trying to make this wing play work. And, you know, obviously we've been dabbling with a few other tactics, and, you know, what we've been trying just wasn't really delivering what we wanted it to. We were trying to get the players to play solid possession football, but we still had some players lobbing it forwards. We were trying to play wing play football, but the crossing was just substandard. So to be fair, I'll be honest with you, really, really recently settled on a tactic that I feel is starting to deliver results. Both in kind of have to look at underlying numbers as well as actual results, because the underlying numbers sort of show that the process is hopefully there. We are just not quite at stage where everyone is singing from the same hymn sheet. But yeah, we followed that up with a 2-1 win in the league before we beat Maccabi Haifa 3-0 away from home. Really quite emphatic performance. And then we drew with Red Star 1-1, with Red Star equalising, as you'll see, in the 94th minute. This was away from home after they beat us 1-0 at home. And then we followed that up with a draw against TSC, who at this point were third in the league. So we drew with top place Red Star and then drew with third placed TSC, or they might have been second actually, I can't remember. It was annoying because, you know, if we'd have managed to get results against both of them, that would have really helped us out, obviously. And then we came into post-January, so we played this game against Nabradak. Now, we went 2-1 up, and then it went to 2-2 before they made it 3-2, sorry, in the 94th minute with a stupid VAR intervention penalty, which was very, very frustrating. You'll notice Nemanjovic is on the score sheet quite a lot, and that's because he has been nothing short of fantastic, really, this season, to be fair to him. The reason why you never saw us through Europa League was because we lost the first leg to Ferencvaros 3-1 at Ferencvaros, and I'll be honest with you, I thought, I can't really see us coming back from this, but I would have been more than happy if we had have done. I thought, you know what, I can't remember, I think it was just one night, I was just sat down, and I was just thought, you know what, I've got the opportunity just to get through this to a point where hopefully it can be a little bit more meaningful and a bit more exciting. So I thought, I don't want to bring it back for a Ferencvaros game when we're potentially just going to get knocked out and it's just going to be a meaningless sort of slightly demoralising result. As it was, we drew 2-2, which, you know, we showed a lot of character in this game. We went 1-0 up and then 2-1 down. But you'll notice that really, since the first game, since February here in the league, we've not lost at all in the league. We lost on penalties against Vojvodina, who we're playing today in the cup, which the board weren't happy about because obviously they wanted us to win the cup, but they've not sort of beaten us up too much about it. And then we've had some easy wins, don't get me wrong, against some like lower sort of place teams, but then we've had some wins against Vojvodina, Chukarichi, and then we had this win against Radnički Niš 6-3. Which was really, really, like, this was literally where we got to see what we've been trying to do. Same with Chukarichi, to be fair. Show what we've been trying to achieve with the tactic. So we've been talking about it. So let's look into it. Now, you'll see a few players here or a few players who aren't here. And don't get me wrong, I will come on to transfers very soon. So we've actually settled on this in more recent times. For a while, we were playing a 4-3-3 traditional, two central midfielders and one holding midfielder. We then actually tried playing just two strikers as well. But the problem we had with that was Petkar Ratkov, who was one of the signings we brought in on loan from TSC. We got an option to buy him. He was the top scorer in the league when we brought him in. He was very highly rated. He's only scored once since he joined us. He's been really underwhelming. We've tried playing him as a target forward to make the most of his heading ability when playing him as a deep lying forward hasn't worked. We've tried playing him as an advanced forward in more sort of attacking systems with either two strikers or with a number 10. Somewhere where he doesn't have to drop so deep, he can kind of just be on the end of an attack rather than having to try and help construct to bring deeper players in. And he's only scored the once, I think. So, believe it or not, he's still top of the goal scoring charts, but he definitely is someone who I would have expected a little bit more from, to be honest with you. But it is what it is. He's someone who I think has definitely got the ability to be a really good player for us. He's still in 19. So we'll hopefully be able to bring him in and see a bit more from him next season. And it's really been recent times where basically we've settled on more of a deep pivot with the two sort of defensive midfielders. And we have basically often been starting with Nacho as an advanced playmaker on attack more centrally, like more sort of at the halfway line, in that classic CM role. But then we have the scope to literally just push him up into a number 10 if we want a little bit more support in behind the forward, for example. So that's something we have been sort of rotating around with. And basically what we often tend to do, don't know if any of you saw, if you're on Twitter, or if you follow FM Scout or FM Stag, I think it was. Basically, you can set it up in the player instructions, but I'm not sure if because I have the Zealand skin, it doesn't always maybe show it in the correct way. But about swapping the wingers over. Now, I actually did do that in a game, and it was the game where we lost 3-2 through that last minute penalty, that 94th minute penalty. I literally, Jovic scored coming off the left, and then I literally swapped him onto the right, and he scored like straight away, literally within 2 minutes from that, which was really nice to see. So this is kind of what we've been settling on. In terms of outgoings and incomings, we'll touch on that in a second, but there is one area I wanted to show you as well. Some of it you can see here. So Mihailo Ilic is someone who is in our development centre. We've brought him through and he's played in and out of defence quite a bit for us since then. Milan Aleksic is someone who we touched on at the very, very first episode, I believe, as a player we were looking to sort of try and blood in. Obviously we had that target of trying to give, development centre players at least 10 appearances a season. He is someone who has definitely been ticking that bill. He has basically made the 10 appearances, but don't get me wrong, not all of them have been the full 30 minutes. Most of them have, but you'll notice he has scored a goal. And yeah, he came off the bench to bag his first goal for the club, which was really, really great. Really, really good. Other players who we have been looking at is Nemanja Ilic, another youngster who we brought through recently, and Bogdan Mercetic is someone we have also been playing quite regularly still. He's got the 8 appearances and he's got 2 assists. So I don't think all of his have necessarily been full, but he's started a couple of games. What you'll notice here, he came off for 64 minutes. And even these last 3 games, he's come on at around the 60-minute mark. And he actually got an assist against Chuchurichi. And yeah, he came on there at 64. So, he's definitely he's pretty much made just shy of that of 10 full appearances, and he needs to make 2 more appearances. And you know what? He probably will start a few games during this sort of final run in the league. Which brings us on to transfers. So in terms of the transfer history, let's look at what we did in January. So a few players did leave. Some of them were opportunistic, and a few of the incomings were system signings, and I'll touch on that in a minute. So one of the first ones that you might notice is if you look over here, we sold Francisco Portillo That was basically because we just got a random offer for him from someone, and then he came in saying, actually, I would quite like to leave because I don't feel like I'm playing enough, because we played him and he was either he got sent off in a game against, it might have been against that Mladost Scat, literally after I saw you last time. We were 1-0 up. He got sent off after 20 minutes, and then we then made it 2-0, completely, from nowhere with 10 men, and then Mladost did make it 2-1. But so after that, I couldn't play because he was suspended. And then he was like, yeah, I'm kind of not really happy. I want to go. So I was like, fine. So I flipped him for like 175k profit, easy money for a 32-year-old winger, which for the club in the state it's in is, financially a little bit unstable, was really, really good. Same with Tardelli. I just got a random bid from some Brazilian clubs for him. And considering he was 37, cost us nothing to get like just shy of 50k for him. Not going to sniff at it. We'll take it. Lakcevic and Lutovac were players who were going to leave for free anyway. And Quincy Menig basically came to us saying he was going to explore his options at the end of his contract. But I was like, fine, you know what? I'll just sell you now. Like, I'd rather just get you out the door, and then I can just focus on playing youngsters. It just opens up another pathway for them, basically. So, yeah, we are more than happy to do that with him. Andrea Savic is someone who stayed on loan at, is it Rad? FK Rad. Hopefully a young defender who will come in and just sort of bolster the ranks there, and yeah, we can hopefully flip him for profit. But he bought him for 40k, and he's worth 230 to 1.1 mil already, which is nice. Peter Ratkov, we've touched on. Another player we signed who's very much a system signing is Georgi Pashov. So we basically we asked our scouts to find us at the time an inverted wingback, or someone who could play inverted wingback. Basically a decent ball playing fullback. I don't know why his best role is a no nonsense fullback, because he's actually probably a fullback with the best passing ability that we've got in the team. So we basically brought him in just as like a system player. He's getting on. He's not going to be someone who we sort of really build around or anything. He was literally just a system signing, just someone to help on that right hand side, just have a little bit more composure. Even if it's like someone we just bring on, later on in games to just try and shore things up. Ragnar Klavan, I think we'd already touched on. He was joining on a free, and he's been pretty immense since he came in. I'm not going to lie. He's actually showing signs of improvement, to be fair. Improvement. He's not declining anyway. He's been immense. I've been really, really happy with him. He's basically become our first choice centre-half alongside usually Vujacic or Markovic, really. We're not particularly happy with either of them, but you know what? It's better than nothing. But yeah, Klavan's been solid for us. He's been really, really good. Filip Petrovic, we've not played him as often as I would have intended to. He was another one who we signed basically based on his passing ability. He's on loan. We do have an option to potentially buy him, I think, if needed, but he's quite versatile. But because for a time we were trying to just make sure we could get results on the board, we were basically just trying to grind the things out to improve the state of affairs in the club for us. We were kind of a little bit less brave and bloody youngsters. But you'll see that overall the board isn't that happy with a lot of things, just because obviously league is looking not like it's not going to happen. Cup didn't happen. Obviously we got knocked out of the Europa League by Larnakas after throwing away all sorts of chances at home when we were 1-1. And they were happy that we got to the knockout phase of the Conference League. But it's actually the fans who are a lot happy with how we're doing, in terms of what they want us to see, how they want to see us play. They're just happy with us challenging for the Superliga title. They want us to sort of battle with Red Star, become a really reputable team, develop players using the club's youth system. I don't know why they're saying reserve in judgment, because I feel like we're doing that. So I'm hoping that even if the board isn't all that ecstatic, supporters will kind of carry that through for now. But overall, they are relatively happy, and I would be shocked and disappointed if we were to get sacked at the end of this season based on a sort of, I guess, like a transitional season almost. In we're trying to sort of change the way of operating tactically. We're trying to go definitely geared towards more, as you can see, possession. That's kind of what we're working for. We still do have some of the players with shorter instructions, just to try and reduce the number of long passes that we're getting booted out from the back. because there's so many long balls which are going forward and just getting completely cut out. So we tried to kind of nip that in the bud. One thing it did say, obviously, developing the players using the club's youth system, we did get our youth intake, and as you can see, we've got 2 5-star potential, 1 4.5-star potential player. So we've got Lardrag Mladenovic, winger. We've got James Jones, English guy of all players, another winger, but he doesn't really look like a winger at all. So he'd probably be someone who, looking at that, we'd probably actually look to develop him maybe into more of like a number 10. And then we've got another winger basically. So yeah, good options to have. And then we've got a few sort of scatterings of sort of average players. But yeah, I think we can be quite happy with that, and there's definitely optimism for the future. So basically, the way today's episode is going to go is we're going to play Vojvodina, Chuchurichi, and Red Star now, and it's just going to be on key highlights, so if that's okay with everyone, just to get things moving quickly. And then we'll probably play these 3, and then we'll bring it back for the Radnik Sedelica game just to finish it off. So yeah, I think I've waffled on looking at the time now for about 15 minutes, so I think that's enough really. Let's get into the game. As I'm about to say, I don't like Vojvodina, just because they're a tough team. They are a tough team. Their attackers are very, very dangerous. So yeah, they are a tough team to play against. So we will be looking to really try and build on the momentum that we've been sort of generating recently to really try and get a positive result. Get something over the line here. I don't think we're going to start. No, we will start Pashov actually, just because he is generally a better defender than Filipovic. His positioning is not as good, but he is generally better at what we want for this system. With the sort of emergence of Klavan, it's meant that Shanichanin has really just dropped down the pecking order a little bit, as has Zivkovic as well, with Pashov and Filipovic generally being shunted out into fullback now a bit more reliably. Balic, unfortunately, is suspended, so it's going to be Traore and Patrick as Patrick as a Segundo Volante. That's because he's generally quite a good player going forwards. So I kind of like having that defensive stability of having him starting deep, but then he generally tends to support up quite late. So Jovic or Diabate has got someone to play off, Nacho's got someone to link up with here. Then we got the ball through to Gomes. So we're playing Gomes as an advanced forward rather than a deep line forward, just because he is generally better like peeling off the backs of defenders. So that's what we're going with, and hopefully we'll get to see that a bit more from the tactic, which we've kind of sort of really tweaked recently. Last episode, I did have a comment from someone, not calling you out, don't worry, anything like that. Basically just saying, the tactic's bad. It's like, we knew the tactic was bad. That's why we were working on trying to change it. But they did suggest that we just download one, and, we don't do that. We don't just download some game-breaking tactic that someone else has made and is used to sort of, maximize certain mechanics in the game. That's not what we do. I am gonna have to play Filipovic actually, because it won't let me play Pashov because he's Bulgarian. Must be no more than foreign play for what? Right, okay, hang on. Patrick Traore, Filipovic. Yeah. So we will. You know what? That's fine. Machetic is in. Now are you gonna let us do it? Yeah. Yeah, we don't just download tactics. We work it. We work through it. Try and find a tactic that suits the team, and we perfect it. We're not just going to go out and cheat by downloading a game-breaking tactic. This is what we've always done. And we tried a preset. It didn't work for the team. We tweaked it to try and make it work better. Still couldn't really get it to work. So we just created our own, and it's recently, anyway, it's been yielding good results. I think we're unbeaten in like 10 home league games or 9 home league games. Anyway, we've been doing quite well. It's just saying there, we're first in the form table. So obviously it's working somewhere along the line. But yeah, not a criticism, not calling you out, not complaining. I'm more than happy to have any comments that you guys want to throw my way. But yeah, we were aware of the issues of the tactic. That's why we were trying to find something that worked, but we weren't just going to go out and download one, because that's not what we like to do. We want to do it right. if you don't see, you know, other elite managers, don't get me wrong, football manager or anything like that, but you don't see managers in real life going out and saying, oh, I'm just gonna, you know, copy what so and so's doing, you know, whatever, like, you know, word for word, move for move, because people don't do that. It's just not practical. You can't do it with, we know, with every, you know, you can't get a blueprint. Ah, thank you, keeper. Thank you very much. We'll take that. I did think he'd messed it up a little bit though, Gomes. But yeah, hope this tactic is more to your liking, and hope you don't think this tactic is bad. And hope you're happy that we've done it without downloading. We just need Chukwari to cancel. Chukwarichi. They're winning, but they're beating Red Star. So, you know, we'll take that. We have got Chukwarichi next, sorry. And then we've got Red Star after that. But even so, this would put us, what, 16 points behind Red Star. That's still too much to try and overcome in 7 games. But this puts a little bit more breathing room between us and Vojvodina if it stays this way, which is just what we like. Can someone please, thank you, take charge of that situation? Thank you. Yes. Yes. No, come on, Jovic. Come on. I really do like Jovic. He's been really, really good. He's a really good, exciting player for us. Nacho wins it back well. Interesting ball into Mercetic. Thinks it over. Here's Jovic. Speaking of the devil. Yes. And that is Mercetic with the assist as well. One of our development centre youngsters, hot off the conveyor belt. 17 years old, a lovely dink pass through for Jovic, who cuts him behind the defence. First time finish past the keeper. Beautiful stuff. Right on the stroke of half time, 2-0. So, I'll show you in a second, but in that first half, well, we're currently averaging 71% possession. And that is one thing that I have really enjoyed with this tactic, because it does give me optimism. So initially, I felt we were struggling to really control the ball. I felt like, you know, we were winning maybe the first, but then not winning the second ball because, you know, we had players just putting it forward. You really should have scored that. Yeah, we had players just lumping it forward. You know, it was either getting knocked down or he needs to come off. You know, it was getting... You know, we just weren't retaining the ball, basically, you know, for want of a better phrase. We'll bring in Alexic. Yeah, we just weren't really doing anything with the ball. Whereas now we're sort of averaging, okay, it's now dropped to 68. Oh, actually, no, 70. And we are generally creating a lot more chances. But main thing is, you know, as long as we've got the ball, we know we can do something with it. So that's something that's really encouraged me. We'll make some more changes now. What can we do here? So I've got to be mindful of the fact that we've got to have we can only have so many foreign players on the pitch. Patrick needs to come off. We bring in Ilic to play as a ball winner. I mean, he can do it. Alexic, is he happy playing there? No, not really. I don't really want to change the whole system, to be honest with you. I might have to though. Oh, actually, hang on. Where's he's not on the bench. Where's Pasha? He can no. Come on, give me someone who's quite happy playing in defensive mid. Okay, you know what? We're just gonna have to do it. We're just gonna have to play Plantic there, and just because he's obviously not comfortable playing there, we'll play him as a CM on support. And we'll play, we'll leave Alexic, but he can play Playmaker on support. We'll leave it at that for now. But we've had Mercetic start today, and we've had Alexic come on at like 55 minutes, so they're definitely getting their minutes in, and that will definitely tick that box for our first season here at the club. And don't get me wrong, they've really benefited every week. I'm getting like every 2 weeks, I'm getting team meeting reports saying, Alexic and Macetic are developing really well. They could be really, really good players for the club, blah, blah, blah. So, that's been really nice to see. 3-0, and it's Gomez and it's Jovic linking up. Yes, Starboy Jovic, basically. This is him, everyone. Honestly, he's class. He's so good. He's so good for us at this level. And just to see things out, we'll make our last 2 changes. And that will be 3-0 against Vojvodina. That is a fantastic result for us, considering where we were at when we played them previously. Scraped the 2-1, knocked out in the. And yeah, I'll have that all day. And in true champions fashion, Red Star, after going 2-0 down, pulled it back to 3-2. What that does mean, though, is if we beat Jugarici, I hope I'm pronouncing that right. I'm pretty sure that when they've got the little thing above them, the C's, it's a ch. I think. I've got might not have Nacho. But yeah, it means now if we beat Jugarici Stancom, we'll go above them into second. I would say we need to improve our performance analysts, but this is what we're talking about, like underlying numbers. So we are actually outscoring our XG, which is really good. Our pass completion ratio is just slightly higher, and our shots on target ratio is also higher than the league average. We do have more shots per game than the league average, and we do have expected goals against per game slightly below the league average. Yeah, we can see on average 1 a game. So we're just basically scoring almost 2 for every goal that we score. So, and I think that is largely in part down to the tactic that we've sort of settled on. That we've settled on lately. So as our cross completion rate was better than the league average, I really don't think it was. As you can see, we're not one for dribbling. We are definitely more of a passing team, which is kind of what I wanted us to achieve anyway. And that brings us quite nicely into the next game here. After Cucurici literally did just play in the cup as well in the week, so I'm hoping that they might be a little bit tired. And we are fortunate enough that Nacho is actually back, fully fit from injury, so he can literally just go straight back in. Vjacic is wanting to play, so that's fine. I'm more than to start him. Miladinovic was complaining that we weren't playing him, even though we played him, so we had to re-promise that we played him. But when we played him, he's just not been good enough, and I'm kind of reluctant, kind of upset the balance on what has been a generally very settled and solid team. I will put Petrovic in, actually, so I can hopefully bring him off the bench. Going well. Vajda, I'm sorry, mate, but you can out. Macetic is going to start again after a great performance last time out with the assists. The assist, and obviously Jovic carries on. But yeah, good performance last time out is not a reason to get. I would say, Belic isn't in it. But to be fair, Hamadou Traore did really, really well. So stick with that. But Belic should be back from suspension to be fair. But yeah, just because we played well last time doesn't mean that I think that we're going to win this, even though we did beat them. Where they're 2-0. I know they're not going to be easy to beat, but equally they did just throw away a 2-0 lead against Red Star. They're obviously not in great form. They did just win in the cup, but hopefully we can capitalise on our good form and our good performances of late and leapfrog them into second. Like I said, I don't think we're going to catch Red Star or 18 points behind with like 6 games to go or something like that. It's just not going to happen, really. But, stranger things have happened. I can't see them losing to Vojvodina, but again, let's just see. Urasevic off the line. Can we defend better? Oh my word, defend better. That's what I mean. We can't afford to be confident and assume that because we've been playing well, we're going to play well here and win. Wouldn't be surprised if this goes in either and we're going to be 2-0 down inside 8 minutes. It's the bar. Really shoddy defending. We need to see more going forwards soon as Red Star are winning. Come on, Patrick, what can you do? Jovic. Jovic looks for Gomez, but can't find him. Filipovic, come on. Would love it to be level, at least level at half time. Yes. And Gomez does what he always does. Yeah, so he wasn't happy, I think, when I last saw you, because he wasn't happy that we didn't get through to the Europa League. And then he was like, actually, you know what? I'm okay about it now. So he basically stopped playing because whenever we brought him on, he was either uninterested on the bench or complacent when he was on the pitch. And we brought him back, and because he's not really been playing, he was obviously not very sharp. And but he's really started to find that sharpness back. That's basically just come through. I think him just popping up with a goal here or there. You know, in a couple of easy games, and he's sort of pushed on, really. You know, he got 2 last time out. He's got 1 today, and he might be someone that does move on in the summer if we get a decent bid from him. He's going to be 2-1. Turn the game on its head in 5 minutes. Hopefully we can push on from here now. Yeah, he's someone who I would be more than happy to keep, but if a decent bid came in for him, I would be open to selling him to try and raise some funds to help with the club's finances. But he's someone who, if we can keep him happy, is obviously got the potential to be a very good player for us. And that's another example of a tackle in Football Manager ending up into a perfect pass. The opposition. And you know how much we love them, everyone. We just absolutely love it when that happens, don't we? I want him easing off tackle. Like, honestly, and now it's 2-2. I hate it when that happens. Perfect tackle goes straight to the opposition. And they just build the attack. He's got a hat-trick inside 31 minutes. What's that? A 9-minute hat-trick for him? Perfect hat-trick as well, it's saying. Left foot, right foot, header. Look at that attack in there across the post. Lovely. That's 3-2. Now can we please just keep it at that for half time now? Yeah, Red Star are going to win. Obviously. Yeah, I think we only play each team once from what I've seen. I mean, there are areas of that half that we could criticise, but we're not going to because we want to keep everyone happy and keep out raring to go. So, yeah, we were like, oh, yeah, you know, defenders, you know, you're doing all right, but I reckon you can do better. Because while they generally got good ratings, it wasn't perfect defensive football. And I'm going to make some subs now because a lot of players are flagging. This is where I want Balic. Come on. Oh, don't trust our defence today. Oh, well claimed by the keeper. Obviously, the keeper doesn't trust him either. He's just like, nah, I'll have that. I'll take that. There's another start for Metagetic. That's a decent little bit of play. Yacic, come on, let's not mess around now. Nacho, oh, here's Ricardo. And he smashes it over. That's poor. I'm sorry, mate, but you could have so many more goals if you were a little bit more composed at times. But to be fair, that's generally been the rule of thumb for the team. So many instances where I felt like the lads could have had more goals if they'd been a little bit more accurate. Honestly, I don't trust the game sometimes with those sort of challenges because I've been burnt with a few soft penalties. I'm not going to lie to you. Yeah, it's not been fun. There was the really soft one I was talking about, where literally I think Balic made a tackle in the box and the ref basically played on. He didn't do anything. Literally just carried on playing and then he pulled it. pulled it back after the ball had gone out. It was really random. It was like VAR told the ref to go and look at it. And yeah, he pulled it back for a penalty and it made it 3-2. Channing off the bench, to be fair, winning that really well. Playing a great ball out to Macetic. Macetic, everyone. Who feeds it across for Jovic. Jovic, everyone. Who rifles at home to make it 4-2, and that should be the game. Got Macetic getting another assist there. Take that. 4-2. 4-2. That'll do us nice. A red start. Are they throwing away a 4-0 lead? Yeah, so Red Star were 4-0 up against Vojvodina, who pulled it back to 4-all. So they're going to have to wait a little bit longer until they win the league, and hopefully even longer again, because we're playing them next. So, you know, if we win that, who knows, maybe this is the tip of the Red Star collapse, because obviously they were 2-0 up, 2-0 down against Chuchirichi, threw it away for them to go 3-all, 3-2. So you never know, we've got Red Star next if we win that. I'm chatting rubbish. Red Star have been crowned champions because there's only 5 games to go. I miscounted. Don't know why I thought it was anything else, but obviously they're to be got at. So if we can beat them, I'd be very happy if we can get the win. What's the board like? 50%. You know, win the Superliga. You know, they're not too bothered that we didn't. Club vision. Just disappointed. They're not angry, everyone. They're just disappointed. Got 1 enforced change, which is Patrick suspended for 1 too many yellows. So that's just going to come in, and Traore is going to shift over to that Segundo Volante role. But otherwise, I think we just carry on as we have been, really. Big game against Red Star today. Obviously, we did get a notification saying supporters were disappointed we didn't win the league, which is perfectly fair. It's generally been a bit of an underwhelming season, really, here for our first time in Partizan. First half of the season, I think there was a lot of acclimatization to team and what we could expect from the league. And, I think maybe approach things a little bit naively in some ways. Just realised that Mladenovic is in and it should be Macetic. Okay. See how he does. But neither board or fans expect us to get a win today. The board wanted kind of hopeful for a draw, and the fans expected defeat. I think if we could get a win, it would go some way to allaying some of the sort of disgruntlement, both from myself and the rest of the stakeholders in and around the club. We can get a decent result here today. And we know they're there to be got at. We were robbed of a win fixture, the away fixture, just Christmas. They just had to come from behind, beat Chuchirichi 3-2. And they just threw away a 4-0 lead against Vojvodina. We obviously demolished. So, equally, it would also take a really big stride towards Champions League football. Amadou smashes it over. I wish the keeper. Tom. Honestly, I've been working all week. I'm knackered. I wish the ref would have pulled it back for the foul on Gomes, because he played advantage and didn't really have any. As you can see, 66% possession, 8 shots. None on target, admittedly. They're there too, both on target. I've made 1 change. We brought on Macetic for Mladenovic. Just Uros is his name. Wasn't having a great game. And we know Macetic has been playing great, especially in the last few games with those assists he's been bagging. So hopefully more of the same from him. That literally great knock in for Jovic. Oh, just wide from Jovic. And Red Star cannot afford to give him those sort of chances, because he will punish them. He will. Macetic. Nacho makes it 1-0. Yeah, so what I was about to say before is obviously touching on the disappointment of this season. I think if this tactic continues to bear fruit, and it's Macetic with the assist again. Boy, Macetic, Bogdan, yes. It continues to bear fruit in the way it has been. Hopefully next season, we will sweep. We will get the league. We will get a cup. You know, why not? Certainly the most... They tried to absolutely take him out. Tried to absolutely destroy him. And he still just went, nah. And he's not going to get the assist for it, unfortunately. But it's Macetic again with the pass. Lovely weighted ball. 2 players tried to tackle him then. And he still kept going and he smashed it in. So yeah, I think if we carry on doing what we've been doing the second half of the season, why can't we go all the way and do a double next season? Might be getting ahead of myself, but we're obviously showing that we can beat the best in this league at this moment. So why not? Why not? Rashevich, Belic is going to have a shot here. He does, and it's 3-0. 3-0. 3 goals in 7 minutes. That was a disgusting finish from Balic. I was like, as soon as the ball came to him from Urashevich, I was like, he's going to shoot here. And boy, did he shoot. 1 touch, bam, daisy cutter along the floor. Keeper had no chance. 3-0 in Red Star's backyard. How's your championship raid game going, boys? Make some subs. Why not? That's 5. Okay. This is beautiful. This is giving me real optimism. Real optimism for next season. 3-0, everyone. Absolutely destroyed them in the lobby. Right, everyone, I'm going to play these next 3 games now. You know, if you'd have said to me, you'll come out of playing Vojvodina, Jutrici and Red Star with, 10 goals scored, 2 goals conceded, 3 wins, I would have shook your hand, walked out the door, said see you later, keep the change, basically. Yeah, made up with that. That is a really good return from that first few games there in the final phase, and we've got 3 points ahead of between us and Stancom now. Hopefully, we can push on, beat TSC, beat Krusevec, and we play Sudolice, have that Champions League qualification in the bag. What I find quite interesting is obviously it's the draws, which have us here. We've only lost 4 games all season. That's less than Red Star, but it's the draws. They've had 1 draw in this phase, to be fair, but we go into a preliminary phase. Okay, yeah. We lost 4 games all season. They lost 4 games all season. Difference being we drew 9. So those 9 draws, that's 18 points. That puts us, level on points with them. And obviously we've shown at this stage that we're probably the best team in the league at this point. Right, so everyone, I played those 3 games, and first things first, we have qualified for Champions League knockout round next season, like the little qualifying pathway. And we did that through beating TSC 4-3, nervy game. We were 3-0 up at half time. Before it went 3-2, and then 4-2, and then 4-3. Went 4-3 in the 96th minute. 3-2 in the 87th. No, sorry. Yeah, 3-2 in the 87th, 4-2 in the 92nd. So a lot of goals. We then beat Napredak 3-1. And then we just drawn with Radnički Niš 1-1. But didn't really matter because we were qualifying anyway. One player who has been so impressive is Bogdan Macetic. 3 goals in his last 3 games, 2 assists in the last 5 games as well. So 3 goals and 2 assists in the last 5. So he has really cemented himself at the top of that right that right wing role. In terms of transfers, we are losing Ricardo Gomez. He came to us basically saying he wanted to explore his options at the end of his contract, and then a day later he was like, I want to leave for a bigger club. So it was like, okay, you know what, that's fine. We had already discussed about the possibility of selling him, hadn't we? But he's going to Palmeiras for 1.3 mil. A little bit annoying, but you know what, at least it didn't derail our push for the Champions League. So we're just going to try and push on and hope that Ratkov will do the job going forwards, or some of the youngsters that we've got coming through can equally step up and play. But yeah, I think that's basically it, to be fair, for what happened. We are still on a C- from the board and a B- from the supporters, so hopefully we'll be all right to keep our job, and the form we've shown in the last sort of few months, certainly. You know, if we look at this, lost in the league there, but we've not lost in the league since then. We had the penalty defeat in the cup and the defeat in the Conference League, but that's 3 defeats since February. So it's obviously coming together now with the tactic, which is nice. So this is going to be the game for our final, the squad for our final game of this season. We have rotated a little bit, some enforced, some not so much. So Gomez is going to start just purely because it's his last game for the club. I feel like we owe him that after what he's done for us, certainly in the last few weeks. Macetic and Jovic carry on playing on the wings because they are both inspired. Jovic has got something like, 17 goals and 9 assists this season off the wings. Someone who's actually just low-key slipped under the radar has been Bibars Nacho. 10 assists and 15 goals, sorry. He is our main penalty taker, so that's why his goal count's quite high. But we're bringing in Alexic for him. Traore and Patrick are starting as they would be. And then Ilic, Ragnar Klavan, actually just after we went off camera last time out, Klavan got injured and he's only just come back. So I think that's probably not helped a little bit, especially with that TSC game where we conceded 3 goals. We have looked a little bit more sort of open at the back maybe at times, but we're still dominating possession, like averaging like 68 to 73% possession most games. Absolutely unreal. So, that does give me a lot of encouragement. Ilic is coming in, another youngster. Zivkovic is in because Filipovic is injured. Viacic is injured, that's why he's not starting. Markovic is suspended. Urasevic is going to carry on doing his thing at the back. And we'll be looking to probably try and bring in Ratkov and maybe Pantic in this game. Pantic, who recovered from a cruciate injury this season, someone who hopefully can sort of help the transition away from Bibars Nacho next season, because he is going to be 38. So 35. So I'm expecting a little bit of a drop off next season from him. We will definitely be hoping to get this result over the line today. It'd be lovely if we can. Just to finish the season on a bit of a high, really. But yeah, we've got the Champions League boxed off for next season. Hopefully the board will be happy enough with us. Hopefully they'll give us a bit of money as well. I know the club's financial position isn't the best, but it'd be nice to have a little bit of leeway to strengthen the team, really, if we can. Oh, and here's Patrick. Patrick has been quite lethal from these positions this season. And he scores again. 5 minutes for 1-0 up. I think like 3 or 4 of Patrick's 5 goals have been free kicks. And he's been lethal in that role. He's going to be 30, so we've set a recruitment focus for another Segundo Volante and for another advanced playmaker. Just someone to sort of, like you were saying with Pantic, help the transition away from Nacho. But I'll be looking to bring Alexic through in that role, really. I've got no chance of being able to afford someone like an Arda Güler. They're just too expensive. But you know what? If we can get a loan deal for someone, that would be nice. One we have got is that the player sales we're making, the board are only giving us like 10 to 15%. I think they're not giving us a huge amount of revenue. And I daren't really ask them for much else, because you may have noticed before me looking on Club Vision, it had like, manager, like board requests, success, like 0%. I think that's just because of club finances. Every time we ask the board for like, the team meetings, it's like, backroom staff feedback meetings, it's like, oh, you should send so-and-so on a coaching course. And the board just keep knocking me back for every single one. Every single time I try and send them on a coaching course. So yeah, so I've not even dared to ask them for change in transfer revenue. It's just because of the club's finances, they just can't. They just don't seem to be able to say yes to anything which is going to cost money. Oof, should have been a goal. Because really, what we need is we're managing to sort of negotiate a few deals for players who I like the look of, but we can't negotiate wages. See, look at that 78 possession. Like I just found a young Romanian keeper who's a bit of an upgrade on Popovic. Agreed the fee with the club, but the wage demands I just couldn't match them because I just don't have that wiggle room in the wage budget, unfortunately. The cat is back, everyone. If you hear any well, one of the cats is back. If you can hear any purring, that's what it is. Nice 1-0 so far. We'll look to make some changes soon to bring Balic on for Ham. You look at giving Klavan a rest. Jetic just goes close. And, it's going to be him and Jovic on the wings next season, I think. We bring in Petkovic, Ilic, Ratkov, Balic. You know what? I'm going to bring in Jonas Toys. He's someone who, like I said, we want to try and stat pad, but I've not had the chance to try and experiment with that. We're just going to bring him in and we'll probably try and learn him out next season. See if we can develop him and then flip him, sell him. He's already worth more than we paid to bring him in, so hopefully we can generate a bit of profit off him. He's got good passing, so in isolation is the role he's going to play. He's able to play that. He just can't do. I want to see this through, really. Lovely win to finish on high. Just what I want. Ilic thinks it overlooks with Petkovic. Rakov, he should be winning it. Such a physical striker. Here he is. And he scores. That's only his second goal for the club. But that was a lovely goal. I do wonder if he'll still finish top scorer at a point, actually. Sorry, everyone. In terms of transfers, I need to make sure I sign him. Because with Gomez leaving, I've only really got Pavlovic and a few youngsters, and I want to keep him. Pavlovic is like 29, and I want to keep him, really. I can't remember what my option to buy fee for him is. Nice 2-0 win. We'll take that. And can I just say, everyone, we finished that game with 80% possession. 80%. Like, look at that. 80-20. Wow. We can just start, channeling that into just even more and more chances. I think next season will be higher. We'll have a quick skim through our end of season review. They were happy with Klavan, as you would be. Now, obviously, he's someone we're not going to be able to hang our hat on probably much after next season. He'll probably just see out his contract. He's only got a year left. That's fine. Patrick, obviously, we didn't sign. Neither did we sign Pavlovic, Filipovic, Belic, Pashov. Not happy because of his wage. So, you know what? He came in, he did a job, and he kind of dropped out towards the end. So, yeah, you know what? Maybe we will look to move him on, maybe. We'll see. But we could say, yeah, we might do. We might do. We might not do. Diabate, we didn't sign. Ratkov. He doesn't represent great value for money. I mean, yeah, don't get me wrong. I know he didn't the ground running when he signed. 2.5 mil optional future fee. I would be tempted to exercise that because he had such a good start to the season. Look at that, 15 goals in 21 games he got. So, I think if we can channel some of that form in for us. Vladinovic didn't really do it. Petrovic, he barely played, but they're made up with him. And we might well look to bring him in. 325k. Just because he's a young left back, and a lot of our left backs are sort of, apart from Zahovic, are a bit older. They recognise, I assume that's me, person number one is me. Yeah, so they recognise that we played really, really well towards the end. Europa League, disappointed. Disappointed, yeah. As am I. As am I. Goal of the season, we saw that goal on camera, everyone. Ricardo Gomes against Maccabi Haifa. That was the match to remember, apparently, and that was our biggest win. Yeah, I remember that one as well. Finances, how are they? Reputation's not changed much. Let's see, Gomes got 24 goals. Nacho with 10. Clean sheets for 17 clean sheets for Popic. Bad at all. Do you have anything else of note, really? No. Competition awards. Gomes finished top scorer. Nice. And he's bowing out with a he's bowing out of the Serbian Super League with the top scorer. So this is what happened for us this season. So we signed Jonas Tojazite and Mladenovic. Came up short. Andrea Savic. Oh yeah, the 3-0 win for Red Star. We were happy with that. Won 7 matches in a row. But the club record for goals, Gomes. Nice, well done. I do quite like that. It's quite a cool thing. Oh, here we go. Club vision acceptance and meeting expectation. Let's see. They want us to win the league. They want us to reach the Champions League proper. Okay, and they want us to win a domestic cup. Okay. Okay, I think that's fair. Those two are fair. That is not fair, I don't think. I think we could really struggle with that. I really think we could struggle to reach the Champions League proper. Really think we could. But the league and the cup I'm optimistic for. At least that means they're keeping me anyway. We got any news on... I don't think we'll get any news on transfers, to be honest, at all. I really don't think we will. I think we'll just be left with what we've got and we're just going to have to generate money. There are players here who I could definitely look at selling. I'll have to go into the squad planner, to be fair. Diabate, I'd probably keep him. Or would I? Because Terzic with someone I would potentially sell, but you know what? If it was a choice between him and Diabate, I'd probably sell Diabate. Because at least he's Serbian and he's on lower wages. And I'm going to be playing Mecetic mostly anyway. And then we've got all the promising youngsters coming through. Which could be... Is he someone who would be open? He would be open to talking to other clubs. Okay. Let's see what we can get for him. We'll try getting a 1.5 mil for him. Blajovic is someone who could... He's out at our, like, sort of affiliate club. Yeah, I think we look at selling here, Diabate. Because we've got Ilic who can play on that right-hand side, Terzic who can play on that right-hand side, and they can play on the left as well. In terms of other players for the left, we've got Mihajlo Petkovic, Denis Totic, sorry, Mladenovic. Ajdar can play there as well if needed. Pavlovic, he was decent, but I would be... Excuse me, if a bid came in from him, I would be open to let him go. Bernovic is coming back. We've got quite a few other players there. Like, I'd rather count, like, where's his name? I don't know who he is. Like, I'd count Jovanovic in there. Someone I'd be looking to try and blood through next season. In terms of midfielders, we've got Nacho, Balic. We're doing alright there, to be fair. Like I said, I'll bring him through to the first team. I'll probably look to loan him out. Oh yeah, this guy's coming back on loan. He's someone who can definitely do a job for us. Okay, I've got a bit of optimism. It's defence, really, I think, is the other area we could do with trying to strengthen. I don't back some of these like fullbacks we've got. I'm not 100% convinced on Shahovic. He's been okay, but he's not been great. Sandy Channon, okay. Urisevic, okay. Yeah, we'll have to have a good look, everyone. I'm going to do some scouting, do some investing, and obviously we've got fresh batch of youngsters to look to bring through as well. But yeah, here's another one, Dusan Dojlov. He's someone who could definitely start sort of breaking his way through, I think, you know, on and off the bench. Yeah, I think the future's looking optimistic, especially if we can sell some of these big earners. You know, if we break it down, everyone just into our top performers. Yeah, Klavan, Piacic, Gomez, Jovic, Nacho, Patrick. Markovic crept up at the end there. Popovic, the keeper. Macetic, I'm really excited by him. And then we look at, you know, who else did we have? I'm trying to think who else we had in terms of youngsters. I set all the filters up for this the other day, but never mind. Mihailo Ilic is someone who I think, to be fair, we could look at certainly developing more as a defender for next season. Alexic, we're gonna try and bring through more, get him to work on that advanced playmaker role a bit more. Mladenovic, if I can get him to develop his abilities to play on this right hand side more, which he should be, he is, yeah. He could be a decent option for his next season. Okay, everyone. Work to be done. Got the Champions League knockouts to look forward to, qualifying stage to look forward to next time. So that's probably when you'll next see us, everyone. If you've enjoyed this season finale, and I will see you all next time. Bye.